You know, one of the greatest lessons I ever learned came from watching the clock. That steady tick, tick, tick. It doesn't stop. It doesn't wait. And you know what? It doesn't care. Time is impartial. It treats everyone the same. Rich or poor, young or old, motivated or lazy. The difference isn't in how much of it we get, but in what we do with what we get. And if you're not careful, if you're not intentional, it can slip right through your fingers. That's why today I want to talk to you about one of the biggest traps out there, wasted time. Now, let me tell you, the biggest time wasters in the world, it's not just television or your phone or the internet. No. The biggest time wasters in the world are people. People who don't value their own time. And they sure won't value yours. You know the type. They want to talk for hours but never get anything done. They want to linger over coffee breaks, wander through long lunches, show up late and leave early. And before you know it, poof, your day's gone and so is your energy. And here's the thing. It starts small. A little chat here, a short scroll there, a few extra minutes getting ready. It doesn't seem like much. But stack it up over days, weeks, months, and suddenly you've built a habit of delay. A habit of letting go of your most precious resource. And that, my friend, is a dangerous way to live. Because what starts as comfort ends up as regret. We naturally drift toward what feels good. We like ease, we like pleasure. And hey, who doesn't enjoy good company or a break now and then? But here's the warning. If you spend too much time on the pleasant and not enough on the productive, you'll wake up one day with very little to show for it. Life rewards effort. Life rewards action. Not just good intentions. And certainly not procrastination disguised as comfort. So how do we flip that? How do we shift away from wasting time and step into valuing it? Well, first we've got to understand the two currencies that matter most in today's world. Time and knowledge. That's it. Time is how long you work. Knowledge is how well you work. Put them together and you've got value. Take either away and the scale tips. Businesses today, they run on speed. Time is the currency they're trading. The faster you can deliver results, the more valuable you become. Urgency, my friend. Urgency is the engine of progress. It's not just working hard, it's working quickly. It's spotting opportunity and pouncing on it. It's moving fast when the moment is right, because life doesn't always give you a second chance. The successful, they understand this. They don't sit around, they don't wait for perfect. They move, they act, they adjust on the way. Now, let's be honest. We all know there's more to do in a day than time allows. They say the average person walks around with 300 hours of undone tasks. Books to read, emails to answer, errands to run, goals to achieve. It's overwhelming. But here's the secret. You don't need to do it all. You just need to do the right things. And the way to figure that out is through priorities. Learning to say no is one of the greatest time management tools there is. Say no to the small stuff. Say no to the distractions. Say no to things that won't move the needle. Because every yes to something insignificant is a no to something important. It takes courage. It takes clarity. But it works. You want a technique that'll change everything? Try the 80/20 rule. It says that 80% of your results will come from 20% of your efforts. So out of the 10 things you've got to do today, probably 2 of them matter more than the other 8 combined. Focus there. Don't ask what's next. Ask what's best. What's the one thing that, if I got it done today, would make everything else easier or unnecessary? That's the one you go after. That's the one you schedule. That's how you win the day. Once you identify that top priority, you begin. And once you begin, you don't stop. See it through. Don't dabble. Don't bounce. Don't check your phone every 10 minutes. Stick with it. That's how momentum is built. That's how discipline is formed. That's how results show up. Let me tell you a little secret. Success is boring. Yep, it's not always exciting. It's repetition. It's focus. It's structure. Successful people do a few things over and over and over and over again. They don't let their feelings decide their actions. They decide their actions and let the results change how they feel. That's why I tell people, get a list. I don't care if it's a yellow pad or a sticky note or a fancy app. Write it down. Plan your day the night before. When you get up in the morning, don't ask, what should I do today? Ask what's already on my list. That little habit, planning ahead, gives you control. It creates intention. And it eliminates the guesswork that wastes so much time. You want to hear something funny? Inc. magazine once interviewed 50 top CEOs from the fastest growing companies. You'd expect them to have high-tech systems, right? Nope. 49 out of 50 said they use a basic yellow pad. They make their list at night. They get up in the morning. They work through it. Simple. Powerful. Very effective. I learned that from Mr. Showoff, my mentor. He used to say, Jim, don't trust your memory. It's a terrible master. He said, get it out of your head and onto paper. And he was right. I've never forgotten that. Writing things down turns chaos into clarity. It gives you a direction. It tells your time where to go, instead of wondering where it went. You ever notice how the most successful people always seem organized? It's not magic. It's not DNA. It's discipline. They've trained themselves to keep lists, review goals, prioritize, and take action. And if they can do it, so can you. This isn't about talent. It's about choice. It's about deciding to be in charge of your time and your life. Because here's the truth. If you don't run your day will run you. And if your day runs you, pretty soon your week will. Then your month. Then your year. Then your life. And suddenly you'll wake up wondering where it all went. So don't drift. Don't wait. Don't waste. Start now. Decide what matters. Write it down. Take the first step. And stay with it. Because your time is your life. Use it well. And you'll never run out of purpose. That's how we start. That's how we shift. That's how we grow. Now, let's keep going. Next. Now let's dive into one of the most important turning points when it comes to mastering your time. Understanding how urgency shapes productivity and how speed turns effort into achievement. You see, a lot of people talk about working hard. But let me tell you something. It's not just about hard work anymore. It's about fast, focused, deliberate work. In today's world, the one who moves first often wins. The one who acts quickest gets the reward. Not the one who waits. Not the one who hesitates. It's the one who sees the opportunity and moves on it before it disappears. Speed creates power. That's why I say don't just work. Work fast. Work with urgency. And urgency doesn't mean panic. It means priority. It means knowing what matters and moving on it like it matters. Because it does. Customers will pay more for speed. Clients will choose you if you deliver faster. In every field. From business to health to education. The one who moves with urgency earns trust, attention, and results. Let me give you a picture. You've got two people, both equally talented. One takes 2 weeks to finish a task. The other gets it done in 2 days. Who do you think the boss is going to trust next time? Who do you think will be handed the bigger project, the bigger client, the bigger opportunity? That's right. The one who moved fast. And it's not just about speed for the sake of speed. It's about making the most of your time, stacking up experience, compounding your results. Now, here's something to think about. When you move quickly, you don't just finish faster. You get better faster. Why? Because repetition is the mother of skill. And the more cycles you complete, the more work you do in less time, the sharper your edge becomes. Speed accelerates learning. It forces you to adapt. It pushes you to grow. It makes you resilient, flexible, and focused. This is why successful people act without delay. When there's a decision to be made, they make it. When there's a call to return, they return it. When there's a problem to solve, they get to it fast. Not sloppy, not careless, but fast. They don't let the minutes drag. They don't let days turn into weeks. And they sure don't say, I'll get to it when I feel like it. Because feelings don't produce results. Decisions do. And speed supports both. Have you ever noticed how urgency changes your posture? Your mindset? When something really matters to you, you act quicker. You walk faster. You talk with more clarity. That's the power of intention. It turns motion into progress. And progress feeds motivation. The faster you move, the more progress you make. The more progress you make, the better you feel. And the better you feel, the more you want to keep going. That's what we're after. The upward spiral. Most people are waiting for motivation to show up before they start moving. But let me tell you, that's backwards. Motivation doesn't start action. Action starts motivation. You move, you build momentum, and the feelings follow. Now let's talk about what happens when you don't move fast, when you hesitate. Well, hesitation opens the door for doubt, and doubt invites distraction. Suddenly you're not working on what matters. You're scrolling, you're wandering, you're drifting, and the window of opportunity, it closes. That's the cost of delay. That's why urgency matters. And let's get one thing clear. Urgency is not stress. It's not rushing. It's not chaos. Urgency is clear. It's calm. It's focused. It's the ability to say, I'm moving now because now is when it counts. You develop urgency by practicing it. You create it by conditioning your mind to take the first step immediately, even when it's small, even when you're unsure, even when it's uncomfortable. Because the more you train yourself to move, the easier it gets. And the more results you see, the more confidence you build. Urgency creates a reputation, and reputations open doors. People talk. They notice. That guy delivers. That woman's always ahead. They don't waste time. That's how you separate yourself from the pack. Now, here's something you've got to watch out for. Casualness. I say it all the time. Casualness leads to casualties. The casual approach to life. It costs. It costs time. It costs opportunity. It costs growth. Because while you're taking your time, someone else is running ahead. While you're overthinking, someone else is doing. While you're dragging your feet, someone else is winning the prize. And let me tell you, excellence loves speed. That's what the best companies, the best leaders, the best performers have in common. They don't drag their feet. They move. They resolve. They follow up. You ever deal with a company that took 3 weeks to get back to you? That said, we'll look into it, but never did. Compare that to the one who solved your issue in 3 minutes. Who called you back? Who followed through? Who made it right? Who would you trust more? Who would you return to? It's obvious. In business, in life and leadership, speed builds trust. Not recklessness, not rushing, but responsive, consistent, decisive movement. That's what separates the good from the great. And here's something to remember. 80% of the profits in any industry usually come from 20% of the companies. The ones who move, the ones who serve, the ones who deliver. So if you want to rise, adopt the mindset of speed, the habit of speed, the reputation of speed. Let people know. You don't wait, you don't delay. You don't sit around waiting for the mood to strike. You act, you show up, you make it happen. And you know what happens then? Opportunity starts chasing you. People start seeking you out. You stop having to knock on doors. They start opening before you even arrive. Because the world recognizes urgency. The market rewards movement. So what do? We train ourselves. We make speed a standard. We act quickly, decide clearly, follow through completely. We take the meeting, make the call, send the message, complete the task without delay, without doubt. You want to rise above? You want to build a life that counts? Then become known as someone who gets things done fast, who delivers on time, who doesn't make excuses, who doesn't hide behind "I'm thinking about it." You get known for reliability, backed by urgency. That combination, it's magnetic. So don't wait. Don't delay. Don't put off what matters most. Get up. Get going. Let your pace speak for itself. Let your urgency inspire others. Because the sooner you act, the sooner results show up. And the sooner results show up, the closer you are to the life you've been working for. Let's keep going. Next. Now let's move into something just as powerful. The discipline of priority. Because the truth is, even with all the urgency in the world, if you're focused on the wrong things, you're still off course. You can be busy all day long and still get nowhere. That's why the art of priority is the key to turning activity into productivity. And here's where it begins. Not everything matters. Not everything deserves your energy. Not everything moves the needle. But a few things do. And those few things make all the difference. There's a simple principle that's guided me for decades. The 80/20 rule. You've probably heard it. But let's make sure you're using it. It says that 80% of your results will come from 20% of your efforts. In other words, a small handful of things you do every day are responsible for the majority of your progress, your growth, and your success. So the question is, are you spending your time on those few things? Or are you getting lost in the trivial many? See, average people do the easy things first. They pick up the small, simple tasks. They check emails, they organize papers, they run errands. And by the end of the day, they're tired, they've been busy, but nothing big moved. Nothing major got done. They worked hard, but they worked on the wrong things. The top performers, they do the opposite. They find the big rock. They find the most important task. The one that's tough. The one that requires thought. The one that makes a difference. And they tackle it first, not last. You want to know how to double your productivity tomorrow? It's not a new app. It's not a longer to-do list. It's one habit. Start with the most important task. The biggest, highest leverage item on your plate. Tackle that, and you've already won the day. And if you build that habit, day after day, week after week, your productivity doesn't just grow. It multiplies. Let me give you a strategy. At the end of your day, not the morning, but the night before, sit down with a sheet of paper and write down everything you need to do the next day. Just list it all, big or small. Then take a moment to review that list and ask yourself this powerful question. If I could only get one thing done tomorrow, just one, which task would make the biggest impact? That becomes your priority. That becomes your starting point. And here's the second step. Don't just identify it, schedule it. Block time for it. Put it on your calendar. Protect that time like it's your future. Because it is. No distractions, no multitasking. No, I'll get to it later. You hit that task like a professional, with focus, with intensity, with commitment. And let me be honest with you. That task is usually not the one you want to do. It's often the one you're avoiding, the one you've been putting off, the one that feels uncomfortable. But that's exactly why it matters. Because the uncomfortable task, that's the one that moves you. That's the one that grows you. That's the one that makes you money, earns respect, builds confidence. Here's something else I've noticed. People don't fail because of a lack of time. They fail because of poor priorities. They spend their energy on what's urgent instead of what's important. They let interruptions control their schedule. They mistake motion for progress. And before they know it, the day's gone. The week's gone. The opportunity gone. Don't let that be you. Learn to say no. Learn to protect your time. Learn to let the small things wait. Because when you say yes to the major task, you say yes to your goals, your growth, your greatness. You see, there will always be more to do than time to do it. Always. The key isn't doing everything. The key is doing what matters most and doing it first. That's how you win. At the end of the day, you're not wondering where the time went. You're looking back with a smile, knowing you made it count. So the challenge is this: don't just be busy. Be effective. Don't just do what's next. Do what matters most. Don't just make a list. Prioritize it. Live it. And watch what happens to your results. Let's keep going. Next. Now let's talk about something that often flies under the radar but determines whether your priorities ever become realities. And that's the power of organization. People often ask me, Jim, how do you manage to write books, travel the world, speak at events, run businesses, and still have time for your personal life? My answer is simple. I stay organized. Not perfect. Not rigid. Just organized enough to know what matters, where everything goes, and what needs to happen next. Organization isn't about being neat or having color-coded folders and fancy planners. It's about clarity and control. When you're organized, your mind is clear, your energy is focused, and your environment supports your goals instead of distracting from them. Organization keeps you on track and makes sure your priorities don't get lost. But let's go deeper. Organization isn't just about writing a list. It's about reviewing that list. It's about adjusting, updating, reflecting. Every night before bed, take 10 minutes and look at what you got done. What moved forward, what didn't, what needs to shift. That reflection, that review is where growth happens. That's where awareness begins. That's how you get better week after week. Now let's talk about the cost of disorganization. It's not just a messy desk. It's lost time, missed opportunities, stress, overwhelm, mental clutter. It's showing up late, forgetting deadlines, letting things slip through the cracks. And that creates a reputation that says, you can't count on me. But the opposite is also true. When you're organized, people notice. They trust you, come to you, refer you, because you're reliable, you're sharp. An organization doesn't take hours a day. Just 15 to 30 minutes of planning. A place for everything. A system for capturing ideas. A folder for important papers. A calendar that runs your life, not the other way around. You don't need a complicated setup. You just need a consistent one. Something simple, repeatable, custom to you. Systems don't have to be fancy. They just have to work. Ask yourself, do I have a system for managing my tasks? For following up with people? For keeping track of ideas? For organizing projects? If the answer is no, great. Now you know where to start. Because once you get organized, something magical happens. You start to feel lighter. Like you can breathe again. You're not carrying it all in your head. You've got a system working for you. And over time, you get faster, more efficient. You waste less time. You make fewer mistakes. You get more done in less time and with less stress. So here's the challenge. Don't leave your life to chance. Don't rely on memory. Don't wing it. Build a simple organization system. Something that supports your goals, clarifies your priorities, and gives you the structure to thrive. Because when your life is organized, your mind is clear, your energy is focused, and your goals are finally within reach. Let's keep going. Next. Now we move into something that makes all the difference. Focus and priorities. See, we live in a world where everything's pulling at your attention. Your phone's buzzing, emails are stacking, messages coming in, people asking for this, demanding that. It's chaos out there. And if you don't learn how to focus, really focus, your energy will get scattered. Scattered energy doesn't build anything. Scattered energy doesn't produce results. Focused energy does. So let's get clear on what focus really means. It's not just working with intensity. It's working on the right thing. It's not just being busy. It's being effective. Most people stay busy, check things off, answer calls, stay in motion. But at the end of the day, they feel like nothing moved forward. Why? Because they were focused on what's urgent, not what's important. And let's talk about something else. Saying no. If you want to focus on what matters, you've got to learn the gentle art of saying no. No to extra meetings. No to low priority requests. No to things that don't align with your goals. Because every yes is a no to something else. And if you say yes to everything, you'll burn out. One of the best time management strategies is this. Stop doing things. Eliminate, delegate, automate, simplify. Every week, look at your tasks and ask, what can I stop doing? That's how you reclaim your time. Now let's get practical. Here's how I plan my day. And it works. At the end of each day, I make a list of everything I need to do tomorrow. Then I look at that list and ask myself, if I could only do 3 of these, which ones would matter most? I circle those 3. And those become my priority. Then I go one step further. I pick the biggest, most important task and make that my must-do for the day. That's the one that gets my best energy. That's the one I do first before anything else. No email, no calls, no distractions, just focus. You'd be amazed what happens when you do your most important task first. It sets the tone. It builds confidence. And it makes the rest of your day easier. Because the big thing is already done. Here's the truth. If you get your top 3 priorities done every day, consistently, you'll be shocked at how much progress you make in a month, in a quarter. In a year, you'll be light years ahead of everyone else still trying to do it all. And let's talk about discipline. Because focus without discipline is a fantasy. You've got to train your focus like a muscle. That means practicing daily. That means staying with a task even when it gets hard, even when it gets boring, even when your mind says, let's check Instagram. You stay, you push through, you finish. That's how winners are built. Discipline also means protecting your calendar. Don't let anyone just drop into your day. Block time for deep work. Put your priorities on the calendar. Make appointments with yourself and keep them. Because if it's not scheduled, it won't happen. So let me ask you, what's the most important thing you're working on right now? Is it on your calendar? Is it blocked? Is it protected? If not, change that today. Because here's the bottom line. Your success doesn't depend on how much you do. It depends on what you do and how well you do it. Focus is your multiplier. When you're focused, everything works better. You move faster, you think clearer. You feel more confident, and you create results. So if you want to double your productivity, triple your impact, 10x your income, it starts right here with focus, with clarity, with discipline, one task at a time. Let's keep going. Next. Now let's talk about something that destroys more dreams than failure ever could. Procrastination. You see, procrastination doesn't just delay results. It erodes confidence. It chips away at belief. It becomes a habit. And then that habit becomes your identity. I'll do it later. I'll start tomorrow. I'm just not ready yet. Those phrases might sound innocent, but over time, they'll cost you everything. Let me tell you something powerful. Procrastination is not a time problem. It's a decision problem. It's not that you don't have enough time. It's that you haven't decided what matters most. You haven't built the habit of starting. And starting is everything. You don't have to finish the whole thing today. You just have to begin. That's where the magic happens. Action, even small action, breaks the grip of procrastination. You move, you shift, you change state. And momentum begins. Let's dig a little deeper. Why do we procrastinate? Because we link pain to starting. We make it bigger in our minds than it really is. The task looks hard or boring or overwhelming. So we avoid it. We distract ourselves, we delay. And in doing so, we allow the fear to grow. But here's what I learned early in my life. What you resist persists. The more you avoid something, the heavier it becomes. But the moment you face it, the moment you start, the weight begins to lift. It's never as bad as you thought. And the feeling of progress, oh, it's addictive. That's why I always say, tackle the hardest task first. Brian Tracy calls it eating the frog. You take the biggest, ugliest, most important task of the day, and you do that first, not last, not after lunch, not when you feel like it. First, because if you can win the first battle, you'll win the day. Now let's talk urgency. There's a difference between being busy and moving with urgency. Urgency is a mindset. It's the belief that what I do today matters, that waiting costs too much, that delay steals destiny. Have you ever noticed how the top people move fast? They make decisions quickly. They follow up quickly. They respond quickly. That's no accident. Speed is a form of excellence. It shows commitment. It shows clarity. It shows leadership. And here's the great paradox. The faster you move, the better you get. Not because you're rushing, but because you're experiencing more, learning more, growing more. Speed creates more feedback. And feedback creates mastery. You want to become more valuable? Move quicker, not sloppy. Quicker, sharper, tighter, more intentional. You'll stand out. People will notice. And opportunities will start to find you. Let me tell you what urgency looks like in real life. It's replying to that email now, not next week. It's calling that client back today, not after lunch. It's fixing that issue while it's small, not when it becomes a crisis. It's doing the work now so you don't panic later. Urgency doesn't mean stress. It means movement. It means commitment. It means ownership. And I'll tell you this. The world rewards speed. Companies that move fast dominate markets. Entrepreneurs that take fast action grab opportunities. Salespeople who follow up quickly close the deal. The faster you respond, the more you win. Now let me give you a little exercise. Think of one thing you've been putting off. Just one. Maybe it's a phone call, a decision, a conversation, a task, whatever it is. Do it today. Right now, if you can. Don't wait. Don't delay. Take one step. Send the text. Make the call. Open the file. Do something. Because here's what happens. When you act, the fear loses power. The pressure lifts and momentum begins. Then take another step and another. Pretty soon you're moving. You're building confidence. You're building belief. And that's the real win. Remember this. Procrastination promises comfort, but delivers regret. Action might be uncomfortable, but it delivers growth. It delivers pride. It delivers results. And let me say something bold. If you could remove just one habit from your life, just one, and that habit was procrastination, your whole life would change. That's how powerful this is. That's how dangerous delay can be. Now, some people think procrastination is about laziness, but that's not always true. Sometimes it's about perfectionism. I don't want to start until I can do it perfectly. That sounds noble, but it's just fear in disguise. Let go of perfect. Aim for progress. Progress compounds. Perfection paralyzes. So here's what I suggest. Set a timer. Just 15 minutes. Say to yourself, I'll work on this task for 15 minutes, and then I can stop. Most of the time, once you begin, you'll keep going. But even if you stop, you've still won, because you started. And if you do that daily, 15 minutes on the task you've been avoiding, your whole life will begin to shift. Not because you did everything, but because you did something. And something done consistently is the secret to success. Let's make this practical. Every evening, ask yourself, what's the one thing I've been avoiding that would make the biggest impact if I just did it tomorrow? Write it down, and then in the morning. Do it first. That's it. Simple. Powerful. Life-changing. And if you want to take it one step further, build the identity of someone who acts quickly. Start telling yourself, I'm the kind of person who takes action. I'm the kind of person who gets it done. Your actions will begin to match your identity. And once your identity shifts, the habit becomes automatic. Because ultimately, the cure for procrastination is not willpower. It's identity. When you see yourself as someone who finishes what they start, someone who moves fast, someone who does the hard things first, everything begins to change. You don't have to be perfect. You just have to be consistent. You don't need to do it all today. You just need to start today and then start again tomorrow. That's how momentum builds. That's how habits form. That's how goals are reached. So don't wait. Don't stall. Don't overthink. Just move. Take action. Feel the power of momentum. Feel the pride of progress. And keep going. Let's keep going. Lastly, let's bring it all home. We've talked about clarity. We've talked about belief. We've talked about skill, action, urgency, and momentum. But now I want to challenge you to do something most people never do. And that is decide. Decide to take control of your time, your habits, and your future. Not someday, not next week. Now, you see, all the strategies in the world won't work unless you make a choice, a decision, a commitment. Because when you decide, you cut away every other option. You say, this is who I am now. This is what I'm going to do. This is how I live. And that kind of decision, backed by discipline and focus, that's what changes everything. I want you to become a person known for results, known for reliability, known for intensity, urgency, follow through. Not because you say so, but because you prove it every day in how you move, in how you show up, and how you finish. And if that seems like a big leap, start small. Don't underestimate the power of daily disciplines, the little things, done with intention, are what separate the successful from the struggling. Decide that you will not waste your life on distractions. Decide that you will not let minor things rob you of major goals. Decide that from this day forward, you'll act with urgency, live with purpose, and work with excellence. Because the truth is, you don't get to keep every day. You only get to use it or lose it. So what will you do with your next hour? Your next morning? Your next decision? You already have the tools. You already have the ideas. You've already been given the strategies. Now it's time to step up and apply them. It doesn't have to be flashy. It doesn't have to be perfect, but it has to be real. It has to be daily. And it has to be you. Committed, consistent, and focused. Write the goal. Block the time. Eliminate the distractions. Start the thing. Finish the thing. And when it's done, do it again tomorrow. Because success is not an event. It's a lifestyle. And when you live with intention, when you show up with urgency, when you honor your own word, that's when life begins to open up in ways you never imagined. So go get it. No more waiting. No more stalling. No more hoping things will change on their own. This is your life. This is your time. Own it. I believe you can. Now it's time for you to believe it too. And remember, the clock is always ticking. Make every minute count.